It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Yeah, taking it serious, life changed in the blink of an eye. Hello to my son, the same day I'm sending goodbyes. I've been on my grind since shake high, riding these bass lines. Finally comfort with the gray skies, watch how I take mines. I'm with the armory, leaving poverty. Niggas been calling me, only speaking of blood like arteries. Guess I'm honorary, ought to be with the ghosts. Pen scripted with ghosts, meticulous practice, cognitive dissonance for the coast. Atlanta taught me well, keep the 808s in a large Chevelle. My lines punching like Whitakeristic or Purnell. I never age, I'm like a for real. Shit that I write in the grill gives me the license to ill. For the new year, I'm only touching more classics and making them. For the cash, I've been draining them. My rhythm circadian. These my signature cadences. Y'all been them and ate them. Chick-fil-A them. Innovative. Need my shit up in them stadiums. I've been underrated. Roller humble. I played it like a film. I'm at a point I need a status coming like a deal. My bank told me you were like a meal. Niggas pushing rock. It was like a meal. Being soldier, life is real. How many niggas you know that could do this? Just this open discussion. I'm sick of niggas. Get some Robitussin and flow discussing. Keep up holding bustin'. Take your hole and shove it, fuck your bitch. Y'all been known for cooking. I got motion in my subdivision. Ain't no 22s in my atoms. I been a factor, but the truth get redacted. From a city where they pumping balls. Ain't no shooting the basket, just shooting the bastard and spinning bandicoots been crashing. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this Wednesday afternoon. We're going to be doubling back to Jess Hilarious and her issues with The Breakfast Club. If you were here this morning, then you saw my video talking about Jess' initial video where she came out and addressed everybody, addressed the situation with Loren Lorosa, how she's been feeling, how she felt blindsided, how she felt like she's kind of been railroaded out of her position, right? For whatever reason. When she came back from maternity leave after having her child, they continued to bring Loren onto the show, even though Loren was literally a fill-in for her. So I guess Jess expected for her to then be transitioned out as she got back in. But they ended up doing the Jess with the Mess segment together. And being that Loren Lorosa is an actual journalist and she is an industry insider when it comes to being able to reach out to celebrities for comment and reaching out to their legal teams, their attorneys, their, representatives, etc., which is something that Jess does not do when it comes to her coverage of gossip or industry-related news or whatever may be going on. A lot of people began to feel like, well, she's better at Jess's job than Jess is, right? And Jess seems to be insecure about the situation because it does feel like Loren is getting a lot more terrain up there. They recently gave her her own segment, Loren with the Latest. Jess Hilarious says that she advocated for that because she was tired of Loren Lorosa doing the Jess with the Mess segment, although it was not Jess, right? So there's a couple of different things here at play. We already covered all of that leading up to today. So this morning, Jess Hilarious made her appearance on The Breakfast Club with her co-host Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy. And they had a conversation about her grievances, how she's been feeling, how she feels blindsided, how she feels unprotected, how she feels like she's been cast out, and nobody seems to really be fighting for her. Now, only thing that I can say is if nobody really knows that you feel, slighted, because I'm sure they understand, okay, yeah, she doesn't want Loren Lorosa doing Jess with the Mess. Okay, that's a name issue. That's a titling issue. But maybe they didn't know that she felt violated, right? So they're like, why didn't you have this conversation privately rather than taking it public and then, going on a rant and ousting everybody and saying that you don't fuck with us and you don't need this job, rather than just sitting somebody down and voicing how you truly feel privately, right? So they get into this and they basically tell Jess that she's allowing the internet comments to trick her out of her position, right? I'm going to play some audio of that conversation, not the entire conversation, but a good amount of it to where you get the gist of it. DJ Envy ends up going off on a tangent and a rant, basically, again, telling her that he don't like the way she's handling this situation and there was a better way to go about it. And then we're going to get into Miss Kendra G, who also, during the time period when Angela Yee left the show, remember, Jess Hilarious got this job because they were doing rolling auditions and trying to see who was going to have the best chemistry with Envy and Charlamagne, who was going to be able to bring the best presence to the show. And she has some interesting remarks about how that process went to begin with, because I believe she thought she was going to get the position rather than a Jess Hilarious, and she feels like the guys up there used their power to bring in Jess in the first place. All right. So as more conversation happens, more people are pointing to the Breakfast Club being shady, right? Which also gives a little bit more credence to the reason that Angela Yee left in the first place. If she felt ousted, if she felt unprotected, she felt like she didn't have a voice. She felt like when people disrespected her, the guys didn't come to her defense enough, right? These are things that were addressed. Maybe this isn't the best space to have, you know what I'm saying, for women in this space. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they need to get some new policies, some new producers for the show that can make this a more safe space for women. If they're going to have them on the show, why not have them be comfortable? All things that I can't cure or correct for them.
What part?
Really,
what you mean we don't have your back?
I have more,
break that down. Explain how we don't have your back.
Okay, all right. So the narrative, like I said, with the online ish, that's what I said. Y'all ain't nobody trying to clear up no narrative about nothing. Ever since I came back, it was weird. Yes, it was weird. Yeah, I at first, no, I did not. I wasn't too fond of Loren. Nah, I wasn't too fond of her when I came back, because we had a whole plan. Even how when I came back, how I pick her to fill in for me, right? I come back, she ain't never leave. Then, all right, cool that she don't leave, but she's on only during my segment. If she was meant to be a fourth host, move her in another way. Why she got to be moved in on? Because nobody had a problem with Jess with the mess until she started reading right. You know what I mean? Till she started reporting. I wasn't hired as a reporter. I was hired as Jess with the mess. So she started reading and delivering details and all that stuff. Yes. Then that's when Jess with the mess wasn't good enough no more. That's how it was presented. So I'm like, all right, cool.
But who said that? Because the internet said
what
that?
are we talking about? No. This is our listeners. This is yeah. Why can't we worry about the comments? And these are people that enjoy the show and watch the show. It's not all about Instagram. It's YouTube. It's like we have people that have been watching the show. Yeah, she's great at what she do. That's why I picked her to fill in for me. But when I came back, it's like, what's going on? If she's gonna be a fourth voice, why she only got to be a fourth voice on my segment?
She wasn't a fourth voice. She was a producer. She was hired as a news producer to help with getting all news and doing interviews.
She was going to be the senior news producer.
She wasn't on there. When you came back, Loren was not on there. She was in the back doing questions, sending interview questions, reporting the news. Am I lying?
I thought
yeah,
you was.
She was on air. She was on air.
They told her don't step in this room.
Yes, but I thought you was using her on purpose.
What? You thought I was using Loren on purpose?
Yes.
No. What are we talking about? No. She didn't leave when I came back the first day.
Now, to some, this may feel like Envy and Charlamagne are gaslighting Jess, right? Basically saying that her feelings aren't valid. The things that she feels played out in front of her face are not exactly as they seem. And I would agree with you, right? But I think what they're doing here is having two separate conversations and convoluting them into one. Because recently, Loren Lorosa has voiced that she is the senior news producer on the show, because people were kind of calling into question her credibility. She's had some back and forth about, she went back and forth with Gary on, and he didn't really like how she spoke on his name or whatever. And he was like, that girl doesn't like me and all of this type of stuff, and she's just a fill-in or whatever. And she clapped back and was like, well, I'd love to invite you back to the show, and when next time you come up there, I'll be here. You know what I'm saying? Basically solidifying the fact that I'm really here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be here on the mic, and I'm a senior news producer for the show. So either way it goes, my presence will be felt, right? Not in a negative way, but since you're trying to act like I'm smaller than the rest of the cast, I want you to understand the role that I actually play here, right? So clearly she was already in that senior news producer position. They say she was sending interview questions, funneling news to them, basically doing all of the work that they don't do in putting together the show, right? So with Jess, she says there was never an issue with Jess with the mess until Loren came in and started reading right? Because there was a lot of criticism about Jess Hilarious not being a good reader, right? And going onto the air, going onto the mic and conveying people's names in really funny ways, which I've been guilty of doing on my own platform. I try to do it as least as possible, but some folks, they have these different names and we don't always get it right. Only thing is, it seems that she doesn't seem to have much of an interest in like getting better at it. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, that was one of the gripes, one of the major gripes, right? And then, to be honest, people on the internet haven't liked Jess Hilarious in a long time. So then there's also that, right? A lot of people didn't even want her to get the position. A lot of people felt like Loren was more tailored for the position to begin with. A lot of people felt like Nyla should have been the one that they kept in that position. I remember that being a conversation, right? So Jess Hilarious was never the people's choice. She was more so the guy's choice. If you looked at it, because they had a good chemistry, although she wasn't a great reader, she had the comedic relief. She was able to bounce back with Charlemagne when they get into their, their quips and going back and forth. But when it comes to being a journalist and a news reporter and being somebody who is abreast of what's going on and has, access to the industry and has, a bit more professionalism to them, Loren is leaps and bounds ahead in that department, right? So that's where this conflict comes in, because Jess is coming in just doing everything that she's always done for the year that she's been in this position. We've got somebody else here that's basically outdoing her at her own job, and it's creating a sense of competition when Jess rightfully feels, I already competed for this spot. Why am I still competing? Right? We fought for the contract. I came out on top. I go off, have a baby. Y'all give me the maternity leave I need. Y'all didn't make it a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I would have a job when I came back. It's not like it was a question about that part. But now I feel like I've been brought back and I'm still competing even though I got the job. Now, somebody told me that Jess Hilarious is making $700K to sit up there and do a subpar job at the Breakfast Club. If you don't want it because you say you don't need it, hey, man, the fingers. I understand why you said I should probably apply for the position. I didn't know they was giving out 7 for $700K. We leaving Atlanta, baby. Fuck Atlanta. Y'all know I don't feel that way. But we moving to Jersey, and I'm getting my ass up to the motherfucking Breakfast Club. 4:30 in the morning. Man, I used to do that shit for far less. I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning to goddamn cook breakfast for motherfuckers back years ago. Okay? So you mean to tell me I can't get my ass up at 4 in the morning for $700K a year? I don't give a fuck if I can't read. I Floyd Mayweather that bid every day for $700K. But clearly, she feels like they haven't done enough to protect her or take up for her, or at bare minimum, dispel any bad energy, right? Like come onto the internet and let people know, yo, it's all love between us. We're good. We're happy. She's wondering why nobody does that. The reason why nobody does that is that's not the culture of the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne, he comes in, does his job, and he goes out and does 5 other podcasts when he clocks out. He don't give a fuck. These guys have been in there for 15 years. They're phoning it in. They're ingratiated into the position. They're grandfathered in. This is their show. It's not their baby anymore. It's their show. So they get to come in and run amok in the palace, collect their check. You know what I'm saying? They probably have some level of equity in the show at this point by now. And they go and do their other shit. DJ Envy, same shit. Real estate scams, car shows. You know what I'm saying? He got a whole other amount of shit. Then he's still doing clubs and stuff, I believe. Breakfast Club just pays his fucking rent. Or mortgage, let me say. And pays for, all his extracurriculars. He go out and he getting other bags. He don't give a fuck about this show. Long as he still has his seat, he gonna show up and sit in that bitch. And I would too for $700. Right? So I'll let them continue to talk because basically DJ Envy is gonna tell her exactly that. Like, they've been on my head for 15 years. I don't give a fuck what they talking about on the internet. I'm gonna keep showing my ass up and collecting my check. Fuck what they talking about.
We had a whole situation like, all right, look, this was gonna happen, and when it's time for us to roll, it changed. No, the first question was about, the only person who asked me about my baby maternity leave was Envy. All right, I walked in, she addressed the hate in the comments. That was the first thing she addressed when I came back. I'm like, what the hell would make her want to think I want to talk about
y'all
that?
talk off air though, right?
So yeah. We started talking off air. We started to
But I'm
talk
saying even
off air.
prior to you even coming back.
So then I felt uncomfortable that first day. So I'm like, all right, look. Thea was like, all right. Well, we'll just take her off air. She was back the next week. All right, cool. Because there was a voice. Y'all wanted her on air. There was a voice. They wanted her there. They wanted her here. There's a place for Loren in the show. All right, cool.
But
if
you,
there's a
but
place
you, but
for
you,
her
but
on
you
the
wanted
show,
her. You wanted her
let's
here
do
too,
it
though.
another way. Yeah,
Because you said you wanted to change the segment from Jess with the Mess to the Loren.
that was eventually, okay. even when it came down to it still being called Jess with the Mess, and then I'm introducing her to introduce stories. That was pointless and it was stupid. It's no Jess with the Mess. Just make it Brown Girl Grinding or Loren with the latest or Loren's Legal Corner. I'm giving ideas. I'm like, yo. I even with the Taylor, change that. Take that Jess with the Mess off of there. I feel like I'm getting credit for something I'm not doing, and it's stupid because this is not what she does. Is not Jess with the Mess. I read headlines and I give commentary. I say what people thinking.
I agree. Could I ask
you know
a question?
What I'm saying? Yes, she's more of a reporter. She's journalism.
Can I ask a question?
What?
Why didn't you wear the do-rag this morning?
Because.
Why you joke so much, man?
What you mean?
It's not.
Now this part, I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Now I know he was trying to lighten the situation because Charlamagne, let's be clear, he didn't want to continue to talk about it. Again, we're talking about somebody who sat in that seat for 15 years. He don't give a fuck what this shit is about. You know what I'm saying? He like, man, the quicker we could get off this subject, the quicker we could get to the rest of the show. Right? So he's trying to redirect the conversation. I don't think that's great. I don't think that's how you handle somebody, especially when they're in distress and they're trying to voice their grievances and how they feel. And it's affecting their performance at the job or affecting the fact that she doesn't necessarily want to be there as often, because she stated in her other video that she's been accepting more comedy gigs, which is why people have been wondering why she hasn't been there anyway, is because she's accepting outside work in order to not be there. So if your coworker is feeling, like this is an unjust situation, or they're unhappy, or they're feeling, unheard, don't make a joke about the fact that she had her, her head wrap on, protecting her hair. Why you ain't wear that this morning? Because we on a public platform. Well, she did go public with the damn shit on, right? But because I'm here to be professional, right? Ain't that what y'all want from me? Ain't y'all telling me that's how I need to handle it? I'm here. I'm clocked in. Of course, we're going to have a conversation about it because everybody's talking about it. But she put herself in that position too, So I'll let him continue. But I didn't like that he tried to make light of the situation, because that's the last thing you should be doing when your teammate is feeling down. You make the joke after everything is addressed. You know what I'm saying? After everything is good. You good? Everything's fine? All right? You need something on your stomach? Okay. You need something to drink? Cool. Now let me ask you a question. Why you wear the do-rag? You know what I'm saying? Your comedic timing is off, Charlamagne. Get it together.
Do-rag is a silk scarf, nigga, but it's not. It's not a joke. I'm serious.
If you gonna bring it to the radio, I want to laugh.
It's not a joke,
okay?
but it's not a joke.
It's a serious issue about it.
It is a serious issue.
Okay, let me just sit back and watch then, because I'm not Joe Clark.
Because it's not.
I am actually. Give me my baseball bat.
No, it's now.
My point exactly. He don't want to talk about this shit. He don't want to address it. He want to get back to the show.
Envy, that's what I'm saying. No, nobody has even tried to clean up the narrative that I'm a villain. Man,
you're not a villain. Who said you a villain?
Yo, stop acting like you don't live in them comments too, Charlotte. Stop acting like you don't understand.
But what do I always tell you? I say stop listening to the internet. Stop listening to the comments. Stop listening to the folks on YouTube. Don't let them trick you out your position. What you did last night is what they want you to do, and you can't let the internet win.
No, but look, it's not even about what they want me to do. I did last night what I wanted to do, what I felt like I should have been did. I've been asking questions.
The internet loves mess. And one of the easiest ways to create mess is to pit people against each other, especially two women. And I don't dwell in that. And y'all know that.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. You let the internet dictate what's going on. We've had conversations, and this is the thing. This is why I thought it was corny, and it's just me personally. I thought it was corny because we have conversations up here. We just have a meeting. If you had an issue, a problem, a situation, or something that you felt, why you ain't bring it to the team? When you came back, Jess, I pulled you to the side. I said, Jess, if you feel uncomfortable, if you don't want Loren in the room, this is your show. We can make that the change whenever you want. Did I not say that to you?
Yeah, you did. It's not about wanting her in the room, yo. It's about the segment. Like it was like y'all
have that
conversation
conversation
y'all wanted
off
her.
air. If you had a problem, say it to us. We had a meeting yesterday.
Conversations off air. What
not
is we
like
talking
that.
about?
Not like nobody having my back, because we have your back. As far as the Corey Holcomb thing, y'all been beefing for 11
I'm
years.
not worried about it's not even about
you worried about comments, and you worried about what people say after.
I'm worried about the
comments,
perception
man.
and my reputation up here on the show.
They've been ishing on me for 15 years. They've been ishing on Charlamagne for 15
but
years.
That's on you.
Rightfully
And the
so.
things that
I
people
don't care.
ish on me for is on me.
I don't let it affect me because I know who I am as a person. I don't give a F what them people say in the comments.
Oh, come on.
I know who I am.
Come on.
I know what I do.
Absolutely.
You let them people get in the comments and F with you. You're great at what you do.
Everybody simmer down.
Like, you are dope.
She's very
and you
dope.
let them people piss you off. No, F them niggas. You nice. Like, what you do is funny.
I tell her that all the time, on air,
You brought
off
that
air.
energy that we needed to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And you let a bitch-ass person in the comments say something to steer you up. I tell F them niggas.
We don't even know who these people are.
They could be bots and all that.
But,
and we doing it on air when we could have did it behind the scenes. Like, I F with you the long way, not on some internet ish. And to hear that through there, that's whack,
This
man.
sounds very light skinned. But let's go to the phones. 1-800-585.
Now, although I do feel like DJ Envy's energy went a little bit too high there. He was, you know what I mean? Just a little bit too high for on air, you know what I mean? But this is one of the few situations where I kind of agree with homie, you know what I'm saying? Because he's basically letting her know this is the position and the seat that you've inherited, right? People criticized Angela Yee for years, right? Angela Yee was my favorite on the show. And I found out that a lot of people felt the opposite. Because I felt like she brought the journalistic expertise to the show. She was the one that was actually informed about the guests and what projects they had coming up and when the album was going to come out, who was featured on the project. All of these different things that DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God could give two shits about. I remember when Angela Yee was up there asking all of the real questions and artists going back and forth with DJ Envy like, bro, you can't even say my motherfucking name right. You don't even know what city I'm from, bro. You asking me if I'm from Texas. I'm from goddamn Tuscaloosa. You know what I mean? So, and Envy has a long history of botching niggas' names, even down to when he was on MTV interviewing artists. Charlamagne is there to, he literally is there to ask people about their mental health. like he got answers for it. He there to ask niggas about their mental health and make sure that they feeling good. That's his position nowadays. And then he'll make his occasional hot take. So when you have Jess there and she's feeling some type of way, these guys are not going to empathize with how she's feeling because they understand niggas are going to criticize us. You know what I'm saying? We're on air for however many hours it is every day. The videos go up on YouTube. This is the culture in which we live in. If we say something that people don't like, it's going to get clipped up. It's going to get sent out. All the media proponents are going to get it and they're going to dissect it and try to say, look at all the microaggressions in the room. This was offensive. I don't like this. I don't like that. But they've been doing this shit for 15 years. They're solidified in their position. They're not worried about that shit, right? Just Hilarious, on the other hand, this is her second year on the job. She like, bro, I need some protection. I need some, I'm not y'all. And clearly from Charlamagne and Envy's perspective, they like, yeah, you're not. And that's the problem, right? Because Loren Lorosa, despite anybody's issue with her, she's like, shit, I'm here to work. I'm not addressing the madness. If somebody got a problem with me, you speak to me directly. I'll talk back to you directly, and then I'm going to get back to work. She handles herself in a different way. People have been saying that this was brewing. People have been expecting this to come to a head, but I don't think people expected for Just Hilarious last night to come out the way that she did. All right. Now let's get to Kendra D and her assessment of how all of this selection process for the third member of the Breakfast Club even went down, because she wasn't satisfied with how it played out during her audition phase when Jess Hilarious ended up getting selected.
I did think that you actually were going to level up and take it to the Breakfast Club. Well, leveling up from your, because that would be syndicated.
Oh, I know all this backstory.
So basically, because in Chicago, y'all were in one market, so you were supposed to sit in for Breakfast Club, or what happened over there?
Okay, so let's get into that. So basically, I come from radio. It was the same company. At the time, I was doing my single show. So there was plans of, I knew my time in Chicago was done. Like, it was time for me. Either I was quitting and going to California. Obviously, when the Breakfast Club came about, it's like, wait a minute. Okay, let me get into this and see what this is about. And just being fully transparent and honest, I was getting a lot of pushback as just filling in, like guest co-hosting. And they had a schedule, and I was fighting to get a chance to guest co-host.
Right.
And then, you know, it became very apparent that, oh, they ain't really considering me for this job.
Really?
And, oh, yeah, really.
Was it like how they were treating you?
Well, okay, well, let's just give the true story. The day I got to finally guest co-host.
Because you're really close with Charlamagne. That's how I know you for the most part. That's how we've met.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't talked in a while. Big ups to Charlamagne. But during this time period, I was supposed to guest co-host. I had a day. They said the night before that I wasn't going to get, not Charlamagne, but the program director.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be able to guest co-host because things changed. Things do happen in radio. They have pre-recorded interviews. But I was able to come in the next morning and still just do some talk breaks with Envy. Well, when I went in the next morning, Jess Hilarious was there. Shout out to Jess Hilarious, super talented, deserves to be her job. Like, this is nothing about her at all, right? So I want to make that clear. I think she was an excellent choice. But still, with that being said, as a company employee, I wasn't really given an opportunity to even guest co-host, really, according to, and they would say, you were on the list, we were going to get to you. This is where the boss, Kendra, comes in. You can't get to me. Like, you know, if I'm watching for 2 months, people getting the chance to guest co-host, and I work for the company, and I got to wait, that's not going to happen. So literally.
Let me throw this in there, too, because a lot of times, and we would have some of this dissent within the company, because we were all the same company, even though it was different cities. We always felt like being in Chicago, okay, you got New York, you got LA, then it's our turn.
Right.
So
because it's the third largest.
Right. So if you saw
market.
people coming in from a smaller city, smaller part, you feel like, how did they get ahead of me?
But I don't even feel that way. I feel like you gotta deserve everything, right? You have to earn it. So you don't just get it just because this is a business. It's a numbers game.
Right.
I get all that. So I don't take that part personal.
Okay.
I do take guest co-hosting when they were going through that time period. Like, I wasn't given the fair opportunity during that time period. They would say, we were going to get to you. So it wasn't like you were going to get a chance to guest co-host. But literally, after that experience, I did it. And again, because I know this might go viral, shout out to Jess Hilarious. That's your job. You kill it. I've always loved you. But I quit after that. Literally.
So that was the final
that was it.
show.
I was done.
Breakfast Club.
Like, that Friday, I had to go back to do one more episode in Chicago. It was May 1st. And I was going to Italy for my birthday. And I knew I was not returning, and I sent my resignation letter while I was in Italy, and I never went back.
And did they try to like stop you from leaving?
Well, you know, you gotta think about it. People I'm the underdog. Like, I left. I was in contract. So I left 6 months before my contract, but I didn't get no severance package. I didn't get no unemployment. So they're like, okay, girl, I walked away from it. It's like, don't hold me to my contract. I'm not going to hold y'all to anything. And I left, and I moved to Beverly Hills, California, and I started my own company and my own thing.
She bought a Rolls Royce, and that was all she wrote.
Well, yeah, now they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
All right. So she didn't like the auditioning process. She felt like Jess Hilarious was already the favorite. She didn't want to really compete. All of that different type of stuff. I just wanted to give a little bit of extra context from somebody who was in that position, who's willing to speak on it. We're going to move on because Loren Lorosa herself has spoken to Jess on the show today. And I want to get into that interaction because, of course, a lot of the energy, a lot of the conversation, a lot of speculation is centered around these two women, as in Loren and Jess. So I want to get to their direct conversation and interaction from this morning. Okay. Now, for context, she's about to get into, I guess there was an interaction this morning in which Loren closed the elevator, before Jess Hilarious could get in that bit. She wasn't ready to have a conversation with her. She was offended by the way that Jess talked about her last night. So I guess she wasn't ready to have a conversation yet. So she shut the motherfucking elevator before Jess could get on. So now they're picking up after bringing that into the cosmos. So here's what Loren Lorosa had to say about all of this.
I felt like I didn't know what to say to you because I was so thrown off by parts of that live yesterday. I'm like, bro, we be talking at least enough. Like, we don't got to be friends outside of here. But I feel like I've always said to you off air, whenever things have happened, we've had conversations about a lot of different things. Let's talk. Call me. What's up? What's the issue? What's going on?
The issue is the whole narrative. Like, I understand after comments and after people and all that. But it's not all about them. It's how I'm feeling too. What if I'm feeling the same way the people feel? You know what I'm saying? So what? Because niggas online feel a certain way. I feel the same way they feel about it.
Call me and curse me out. Call in me and curse him out. Yes, you do.
Yes, like, okay. I've done that. You know what I mean?
There's a bigger issue sometimes too, because I feel like, all right, you'll call him, you'll cuss him out. We might talk about different situations. But I think a lot of times, if there's an issue for real, and then it don't be no movement in here, it's like there's an issue outside and then there's no movement in here. And then we just all in here like he, ha. Like, you're doing a lot of it right now. You're laughing and joking, but for real, you know that she's up here crying. Nothing about that is funny. Like, there's real issues and real problems and we don't really get to the gist of it.
Ever.
I want the record to show I see Jess cry a lot. So
it doesn't matter if you see her cry 1,000 times.
Joke, talking about
you know what? I'm not even talking to y'all. I'm not talking to y'all. See, because when I try to be serious and talk, you see what I'm saying? You see how they do me? I'm a mind my
What
business.
I'm saying is that I think at this moment, because this is East Side High, West Side, whatever high we gonna be, we here and we together, so we got to figure this out. And it's not, everything's not a joke. And I can understand some of where you was coming from, but bro, part of that live I thought was crazy. I'm like, what, Jess? Like,
what parts did you think was crazy?
What part? Because like, Lauren, it's not like you didn't hear anything in that live that I haven't said to you.
I heard a lot that you didn't say to me.
Okay, so what part did I not say to you?
Okay, so the part about the talking over each other and the hush, be quiet, because you talk about how you feel in real time, right?
Yeah,
I'm feeling in real time. That be quiet. That was crazy. The shut up. I was like, oh, okay, because what we really giving up here? Like, what's up?
Okay,
right?
But I didn't. None of that was said. You didn't say anything about that.
And then when I pulled you into the office with our EP with Eddie, the first thing I said to you was, Jess, we fighting for airtime and it shouldn't be like that. I want to know what can I do better as a producer? What can we do better as the two women sitting right here next to each other to make sure that don't happen, because it doesn't look good. It's not going to play well for either one of us.
I literally swear to God, I don't even remember you saying that.
And that's exactly why I had Eddie in the room, or EP,
I never ever heard that.
Because
you've pulled me to the side a few times to ask me, are you okay? How do you feel like about the stories and things like that? You've never said what you just said to me. Now listen.
Hey man, from the way that the conversation's going at this point, I'm with Loren, right? Because Jess has been holding back some resentment. And if Loren understands that you have this resentment, or she can see that your energy on the show on air is turning putrid, you telling her to shut up and hush, and you know what I'm saying? And she's willing to come to you. She shouldn't be the one coming to you. You should be the one coming to her saying, hey, I was out of line. Let's be clear about that. But if she's willing to come to you and say, yo, all right, I see you got some energy. How can I do better? What are you good? What can we do to make this right? If she's approaching you in any way to ensure that you're good, or try to make sure that you're comfortable, and in those moments you don't take the initiative to say, okay, well, since you're asking me, here's how I feel. Because let's be clear, all of Jess Hilarious's problems are because she feels like nobody cares how she feels. And the one person who is being pit against her is the actual one asking her how you feel. So, I can't rock with Jess on that, because basically what was being exposed here is that you're feeling some type of way, and the person who is supposedly making you feel some type of way, or the subject that's making you feel some type of way, is trying to rectify it, and you're not willing to have that conversation with them, then you're just unhappy in your position. It's not even about her at this point. You just don't like this atmosphere. You don't like the environment. It's not what you thought you signed up for. And if that's the case, you need to be taking that up with your higher ups and saying, hey, maybe this ain't the job for me. Right? Because if this person is asking you in any way on how to find a resolution, and you're not taking the initiative to do so when that's exactly what you're asking for, then what is it that we're supposed to be able to do for you? What is Loren supposed to be able to do for you? She sees how you acting. She comes and addresses it, tries to at least pacify you in some way, and you still got a problem. You still end up on the internet. Yeah, I would feel some type of way too. You know what I'm saying? Just being clear. Now, I understand Jess's grievance. I understand how Jess may feel blindsided. I understand how she may feel like this ain't what I signed up for. She's entitled to feel that way, but it's all in how you handle things. And when you handle things gracefully versus in a messy way, it determines how it plays out. And it could determine how it plays out in her future going to the next position that she may decide to take on later. It could be a narrative that follows her if she doesn't get herself in check. And I mean emotionally and communicatively.
I have said, hush, shut up. Like, yo, you overtalk. And like I said, I'm not about to be up here fighting for no mic. Like, I'm not doing that. If I already got the job, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not. It's four voices. Three of us are very opinionated. You know what I mean? Me, you, and Charlamagne. I'm not saying Envy don't got no opinion, but he don't jump in every single time there's dead air. You know what I'm saying? When you overtalk. And it's like the only time you can quiet down is if somebody be like, shut up or hush.
My mom don't even tell me shut up, Jess. I'm a grown-ass woman.
And I understand. You could have said that on air right then and there. Or right after when you saying you pulled me in the office. You never pulled me nowhere to tell me that.
Because the way that I do things when it comes to my job and my career, that's not what we on. And I told you from the jump, I was never going to give that to you.
Okay.
Ever. And I did or not? Our first conversation, I said, if I ever have an issue with you, I'm going to handle it in a way where we can get through a conversation because we grown. And regardless, you don't got to love me. You don't got to like me, but we here together. I'm here.
And listen, like I said earlier, the internet loves mess.
Yes, you are here.
And one of the easiest ways to create mess is to pick women.
I'm sorry, Jess. You that was foul. To say you jump in every time there's dead air, you over talk, and the only way you gonna shut up is if somebody tell you to shut up or hush. Nah, fam, we're not doing that. Now, I did see some people that were saying, maybe she's going through some form of or some level of postpartum or those different things that women go through in the after effects of pregnancy and delivering a baby and all that type of stuff, which I think is valid. However, the problem with that is when you bring that and you put that on somebody else, you're feeling some type of way, but then you make somebody else feel some type of way because you're not good. It's only going to create conflict, right? And if you know, and to be honest, and this is with all empathy to the situation, if you're not in a good place, the best thing to do is remove yourself. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, we don't know what type of time she has to where she could take off or whatever, but she hasn't really been there. And she said she was taking other gigs and stuff like that to keep her flow going. But yeah, I just can't, because I know if I was sitting in somebody's position and you talking to me any type of way that because you feel like I'm invading your territory, your space or whatever, and I'm only coming in to do the job that they asked me to come in to do, yeah, it's going to be a problem. I may not get loud and want to fight you because that may not be my demeanor, which it seems that's more so what Jess is asking for. Like, if it was a problem, you ain't. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, yo, now if I whoop your ass, then what? Then you go and nobody. What if I whoop your ass and Envy and Charlamagne then don't come to your defense neither? What happens then? You ain't gonna be defended by nobody in no type of way. So then it's really gonna be a problem. Then it's gonna be HR involved. Then it's gonna be I'm pressing charges. With my hand. You know what I'm saying? It's just a nasty can of worms. And the producers, the executives up there at the show, of course, yeah, they thrive off of this type of discourse. They thrive off of the mess. They thrive off of the gossip and the bullshit. But ultimately, they need to get this situation quelled. Ultimately, they're going to have to make a decision. And if I'm sitting in that position today and I'm looking at my P&L reports, I'm looking at who's going to make the situation easier to handle, probably cost less, and who does a better job on a comparative level, Jess is out of there. You know? Jess gonna be doing the mess right back on Instagram. If I'm the executive in that position and I'm just trying to create peace in my workplace and not have this play out to where it gets taken too far, you gotta remove the bad apple. It's just the way it works. And unfortunately, Jess falls in that seat. And I know some people are not gonna like that, but that's what it is.
And you're here because of an opportunity that I extended.
Regardless
like,
of
no. I'm not sitting here like you don't deserve to be here. I'm not sitting here like you're not here. You're not going anywhere. That's first and foremost, let's get that. It may be my delivery or whatever. But yeah, you are here. I ain't never say you shouldn't be here. I said from the whole jump, yeah, Shorty do the job. Great. She's amazing. That's why I want it to be her segment. I
think y'all can work very well together. And once again, you got to stop letting the internet pit y'all against each other. I know the internet has created a narrative, Loren versus Jess versus Loren.
No, but that's what it is.
And that's what I'm trying to say is the internet is there. We see it. None of us can ignore it. I saw that Corey thing a week ago. It didn't say nothing about it.
Y'all clear up everything else. Nobody want to clear up that I'm not feeling that. I don't like you, or I'm hating on a.
They say I'm gay. I ain't came up here and said I don't suck no pee-pee.
That's true.
That's different now. Come on.
The last time I attempted to do that, Jess, it went so bad that I said I wasn't going to do it again.
Attempted to do what?
I don't dislike you. You don't dislike me. The day you came back. That's what my intentions was. And we talked about
that was different. The way when I did come back, Loren, you have to admit that ish was crazy. The way we had a setup, we had something going. We had a whole nother plan. It went left. You came in here and it's like you did something totally different. The first thing that you spoke to was the things in the comments.
I feel like we're having a behind the scenes meeting on air, which is kind of cool. But let's go to commercial or something, and then come back.
Well, the whole thing is we need a resolution, bro. We'll take some phone calls, but like I'm resolution based and not argument based. So let's resolve
shut
this.
Up. You're the number one beige raised person. You ain't never came up with a resolution, a solution in your life. Cut it out.
Well, I just want to say, Jess, what you feeling, we feel it together. And when the other thing happened that I called you about, I said that to you.
What was the other thing? Oh, you don't want to say
the academics thing. And I want you to know, I responded
to me. It's just lead.
I responded to that on Twitter. I didn't send it to you. I didn't feel like I had to, but I did. But I called you about it.
The comments. Stop listening to the comments.
Let me talk.
In real life, we love everybody. Y'all love each other. This can work.
It will work. It will work. What I'm saying, no, because this is.
You see what I'm saying? Don't let it.
I'm joking. This came from them making it a topic, and now it's a problem because we're talking about
exactly. What I'm saying is that this will work, but sometimes this might have to happen, and it's happening with love. Because when I saw Jess crying, I came in here because I care about you. Have to be okay for all of this to be okay. And I'm a producer at the end of the day. You my talent. We gonna be straight. Everything's gonna be fine.
Let's take some calls and then we'll come right back. 800-58.
Hey yo, you my talent. I'm a producer. Keep that in mind though. I ain't just on air talent, homie. I'm a producer in this motherfucker. I will outlive you. That ain't what she's saying, but maybe that is what she's saying. Anyway, so that was that interaction. Very interesting interaction. I think for the most part, Loren is trying to be on Jess's side. Unfortunately, Charlamagne keeps interrupting every time that she tries to like shoot Jess some bail and try to come to a resolution of where they can amicably work together, have everything fine. Charlamagne, like I said in the beginning, Charlamagne really don't want to talk about this shit. He really don't want to address on-air issues. He'd rather talk about everybody else's problems and not what's going on inside of here. Because again, this is just his morning hustle. No pun intended to the other show that we referenced today. You know what I'm saying? I come in, I collect my check, I do what I'm supposed to do, and then I go off and do 5 other podcasts and run the Black Effect Network and, you know, not pay none of the niggas that I'm bringing into my network. That's what he likes to do. All right. So let me go ahead and take this off the screen. Unfortunately, what we're watching play out in real time is scarcity mindset. And unfortunately, it seems that the scarcity is, it's a real thing. Although 2 of them are there on the show, eventually one will be outed. It looks like it's going to be Jess because she is going to be labeled difficult. And again, I understand her position. I understand everything, but it's just a tough situation where you go out, you go have a child, you go, you know, into the family transition, and then your replacement outperforms you. You know, that's how we got Tom Brady, right? Drew Bledsoe got injured in the middle of a game. Next man up, Tom Brady, motherfucker. What round did that nigga get drafted in? 5th round or some crazy shit? The bottom of the draft? And this motherfucker just come in and start, blue 42. And it's like, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Happens. Now, some people are going to say, I don't think it's fair that you're comparing this to sports. If you just remove the sport idea and just keep it human, if it's next man up or next woman up, and the person who comes in to fill in your spot comes in and outdoes you in your own job, and then you come back ready to work, and y'all are both basically serving the same position, right? But your new replacement is a much cheaper, more effective version of you. What do you think is going to happen to you? Especially when Jess Hilarious is not tenured in the spot. She's only been there a year. She's expendable. Although she's not auditioning for the job no more, she's still auditioning for her longevity in that seat. It's just what it is, man. I wish her the best, though. I don't want her to be, I don't want her to do bad like Corey Holcomb, you know? I hate that this is happening in the way that it is, especially in a public forum in which she brought it to us. I don't think that was handled properly. But at this point, I've said all I need to say. I do want to address something, though, outside of the subject matter. If you happen to be watching these videos on my channel and other people's channels as well, a lot of YouTubers are not as transparent as I am as it pertains to the business of YouTube. But if you happen to be watching my videos and you're seeing an influx of ads and it's affecting your experience as a viewer, as a listener, because some of y'all don't even look at the videos, y'all just play it, and I love those that do that too, blame it on YouTube, okay? We set up ads. We're able to set up ads in a certain way as creators. However, YouTube is introducing new automated ads. And what they're doing is they're basically just placing ads wherever the fuck they feel like it when you take a break in your speech and stuff like that. So I've noticed that they've doubled up on my ads, and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to affect people that want to actually get into the meat of what I'm talking about, because they're going to continue to be interrupted. And although I understand YouTube because that brings in more money, I also understand how it affects y'all from even enjoying the content. But I want to acknowledge this and I don't want to act like that's not happening. But I want y'all to understand it's because YouTube is introducing auto ads that I can't control. And even the amount of ads that I typically would put in, they're now in jeopardy to say, hey, we're going to have to determine whether or not we're going to accept the ones that you place. Okay? So blame YouTube, not me, if you're getting an ad every 2 minutes. That's not something that I would do. It's them. Okay? Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll be back with more content later. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit on my almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some batteries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.